Dr. King's legacy lives in the works of the King Center, which is led by his daughter, Bernice.
Well, Dr. Bernice King, thank you so much for hosting us here at the King Center and for your time.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here.
Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech. He said he dreamed of a world in which his children would not be judged by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. To this day, are you and your siblings, in your mind, judged by the color of your skin?
I mean, I do think there are spaces and places where I find myself that I can experience some of the either subtle or overt kinds of racism or discrimination based off of the skin color, the type of treatment you receive. So they don't know I'm Dr. King's daughter. So I do think that those of us in the Black community still deal with that, you know.
What more can all of us do to address it?
Daddy said, you know, men hate each other because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they don't communicate with each other. And they don't communicate with each other because they're separated from each other. And I think part of the reason he was working towards getting society more integrated, meaning where we would be more connected in all of these different spaces and places, is so that we would begin to know each other and communicate with each other. And then some of these walls of fear and anxiety and distrust and misjudgment wouldn't take place. He dreamed of that world, but we're not there yet. We still have to work on eradicating all forms of racism.
Dr. King has something in common with President Lincoln in that both were reviled in life, largely, and then revered in spirit. Mm-hmm. What drove that kind of change in our national perspective? Yes, but President Garfield was assassinated, President McKinley was assassinated. We don't have monuments to them.
Yeah, but I say my mom, because Coretta Scott King championed that legacy. She was the architect of the legacy. She spent an enormous amount of time trying to help people to understand what Martin, as she would say, was trying to do. He loved America, but he loved the world too. He loved humanity.
I would add something that made him particularly effective, and that was strategy. He worked against patterns to find ways to do things in such a way that they succeeded. And he was very careful in his planning.
Very careful.
Do you find that lacking in generations, particularly younger generations today?
I find strategy missing, period. I think this is the vocal generation. This is the generation that's very passionate about change. This is also the generation that's not going to let us go back to sleep. Let me just say that. But now, how do they move from just speaking up to really translating this into substantial change is where there's that gap that's just missing. And that has to do with what you're saying, strategy.
Well, we also have something else on that point that Dr. King did not have in his day, and that is social media. Remarkable way to connect people and motivate and organize, but it's also remarkably effective in fracturing our community and in whipping up anger and fear and spreading misinformation. How would he have countered the challenges of social media in his time if it was around back then, and how do we address it today?
You can use it as a tool of mobilization, but when it comes time to do the work of strategizing and figuring out, that kind of stuff has to take place outside of social media. And I just think that's what he would do. And he would do some of the things, and I'm not my father by any means, but I think he would do some of the things that I'm trying to do, which is to elevate the conversation and not be about just canceling people or calling people out, but calling people in. The way our world and universe is made, there's no escaping it. We are interconnected, we're interrelated. Whatever state the world was in, that's the way we found it. So don't blame me. I was just born, but let's get together and work it out. That's my philosophy in life.
Dr. Bernice King, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.